Welcome everybody, my name is Mr. Llama and today I'm bringing you a ZVZ. This is going to be between EGIdra spawning up in the top right hand corner and spawning down in the bottom left. We do have FGMaSsan, and I actually do not know what clan FG is, or if his name is just FGMaSsan, or if the clan is FGMaSsan. I believe his name is just Masan and FG is the tag. But I really couldn't let you know that. I'm not quite sure. I haven't really had anybody tell me what FG is, or I haven't been able to find anything out when I have kind of looked for it. Then again, I haven't looked too crazily hard, sure, for it. But you know what? That's okay. So it is going to be on Cloud Kingdom ZVZ, and this is from the HP tourney, I do believe. So should be a decent game. Best of one right here. Whoever wins this will be moving on. And really quickly, I just want to say I apologize if there's any audio issues. The internet here is kind of wishy-washy at the moment, so sometimes it kind of drops in and out really quickly and makes for little pops in the audio. So I know they're a little bit annoying, but that's kind of what I'm working with at the current moment. Hopefully that will be fixed and better by tomorrow. So it looks like both players not opening up with any sort of early cheese. EGIdra looking to be taking a 15 hatch. Nope, just kidding, 15 pool. So 15 pool out of EGIdra and 14 pool out of FGMaSsan. And we'll see where they go from here. So surprising, I actually was kind of trying to metagame EGIdra right there because I see him take 15 hatches almost all the time in ZVZ. That's one of the things that you can usually almost count on. But it's possible that maybe he's played against Masan. Actually, in fact, I know he has played against Masan before. Recently, actually, too, I believe. Just back in September sometime, he actually played against him. So, very possible that Masan did some sort of early cheese against him, something like that. And EGIdra decided, you know what, I'll play a little bit safer. Open up with the 15 pool, grab a gas, and then open up, of course, with the 15 hatch right beyond that. Masan, on the other hand, doing the same exact sort of style right here, except he's opting for a slightly later gas. So EGIdra will pretty much have speed out by the time Masan grabs gas. Not by speed out, I mean speed started, excuse me. Which does leave him a very decent sized window, as here we'll see him grab speed immediately, and he does pull off gas all of those drones actually, so not leaving any on for banelings. It looks like EGIdra might be going for some sort of early ling all-in pressure, very possible, or he could simply just be going for the early lings, and he feels very secure about his micro that he can go ahead and deal with banelings were they to come. Because a lot of times you'll at least see a player leave one drone on here, a lot of times two, but sometimes they'll just leave one, so that way they can grab a baneling nest when it hits 50 gas, and then they'll, maybe put 2 on or 3 on a little bit later to get banelings out, depending on what they scout, if they feel like there might be any pressure. But it's just a nice, safe way to have that access to banelings. But EGIdra not opting to do that at all, and instead just going to be building up the lings. And here's what I was talking about. I thought he might be going for an early ling aggression, and here we see that he is. Lots of lings being made, and I'm imagining these are all going to be made into lings. Yes, they will. 14 lings right there, and EGIdra now going to be gathering them all up. Speed coming out fairly soon, and what you have to remember is that Masan grabbed his gas a lot later, so there's going to be a huge time right here as it just starts to move out. Great timing. You want to move out before that speed finishes so that you can get right near your opponent's base right when it completes, or at least halfway across the map, so then you can just burst in. Spinecrawler trying to go down. There's a couple of queens right here. I don't know if Masan's really going to have enough to deal with this. He's trying to make queens of his own at this moment, but it's just going to start streaming in a ton of lings at this time. Probably going to surround on this spine. I'd imagine the queens are a little bit too far out. They're getting surrounded too quickly. One queen will go down. The spine crawler also, no, not go down. He's actually going to focus down the second queen here, and that's going to go down as well. And he's going to run right past, kill off these lings, and he can now run into the main and do a ton of damage with all of these lings. So it's going to be ling versus drone, or picking off this additional queen in here. It just needs to be careful not to lose too many to the drones right there, excuse me, while he goes after the queen, as a third queen had been made by Masan. He's now running around with these lings, and it looks like Masan going to be able to escape quite easily, I'd actually say right there, without suffering too many losses. In fact, 0 workers killed, and the only thing is, I don't know, I think EGIdra's actually lost more. No, it is an exact even in terms of loss, considering that EGIdra did lose the lings right there. the extra lings, while MaSsan did lose the queens. However, here we're going to see MaSsan now countering with the ling baneling. EGIdra doesn't have a baneling nest up yet, and now all of a sudden EGIdra, who had droned behind this and has a decent number of drones, 26, actually not as many as I expected him to have, did not do enough damage, and he does have a spine crawl up, so that will be enough to push back MaSsan, who has not truly committed to this. As you can see, he's starting to make drones right behind this, so he has a decent wave of lings and banes pushing in, but EGIdra should have enough to defend this, I would imagine, as banelings are now underway right here. They are out, so they're going to get over there and to get off a nice hit right there. All of those banelings going to go down for MaSsan, and that right there is going to be enough to say, alright, I'm just going to run back to my base and save what I have. In the meantime, he's also going to be grabbing a Roach Warren and moving his Spine Crawler here, and it's just going to be back and forth, and this is what I really love to see in ZVZ, is when the players are just moving back and forth with these units. EGIdra comes in with a huge swarm of zerglings, kills off a couple queens, goes into the main, trying to focus some more down, focus that last queen down, kill off some drones, unable to do so. Instead, he loses all those lings. MaSsan, who had reacted with lings, now sends them over to EGIdra's base, who's been droning behind it, and it's just back and forth between the two players. So great to see. So EGIdra as well, moving into that Roach Warren tech. Both players also grabbing an Evo Chamber, and I mean, look up here. This is pretty identical. The only difference is look at MaSsan's gas. He is grabbing all 4 extractors right here, while EGIdra is still stuck on, I guess he has 3. I didn't see the 2 down below. So EGIdra actually piling up a decent number of gas a little bit earlier than MaSsan right there, and I completely missed that. I'm imagining it's still just going to be for upgrades and the Roach Warren and such, which, as you can see, he does have the +1 slightly faster than his opponent, and now he's going to also be taking this 3rd base right here, which I feel is a good move, simply because he has that baneling tech and he has a decent number of lings, and MaSsan's going to try and punish him, actually, with the make of these roaches. As you can see, we're going to see EGIdra droning at this point, or we saw EGIdra droning at this point, and he really needs to be careful not to drone too heavy, because if he does, MaSsan can just push right on over with those roaches and those lings and go to deny this 3rd base, while he does take a 3rd base of his own, of course, to allow himself to get in a better position. So here, he's still making roaches. He's still going to be committing to a decent-sized attack, I would imagine here. Otherwise, he's going to be putting himself in kind of a falling behind position, as EGIdra should be having, I guess it's not really a drone lead at all. It's actually fairly even. So he's going to be still droning a little bit before right here, and it just seems actually like MaSsan is a step ahead of EGIdra somewhat in terms of all the production and such. So EGIdra is kind of catching up at this point with everything. So here we're going to see some banelings and some lings and roaches, and it's going to be a nice little battle, and I would imagine MaSsan is going to just pull back, as he really doesn't have enough to deal with this at this point. He is sending some more roaches over though, actually, so continuing to stream out units. EGIdra's going to have to deal with this somehow. So he's going to have to react and make units of his own, and he is sprinkling some drones in as well, as you can see, getting up in the drone count a little bit more. He needs to be really careful. Nice baneling hits actually do go down there, but it might not be enough for EGIdra, who now has all of his reinforcing roaches right behind. He needs to be careful not to lose too many. Speed does finish for, is it done for both players? I do believe so. So speed should be done for both players here, and so now EGIdra and MaSsan just battling back and forth with these roaches, and it's basically the same number of roaches, and it looks like MaSsan's just going to retreat. EGIdra actually able to come out ahead though, simply because, look, he was able to get ahead in the drone count. Now he's got the 3 additionals right there, so I know it's small, but it is going to be something that will help him out for sure. And then, of course, as well, he is slightly ahead in the army, I do believe. We just had it right there. Where did I get? There it is. Yep, so his army is a little bit ahead, his technology is a little bit ahead, and economy-wise, they're fairly even. It looks like, actually, yeah, MaSsan's actually taking a jump in the economy right there. So EGIdra, once again, going to be forcing him back, defending his 3rd base with these roaches, and MaSsan's just trying to be a little bit annoying with those, but not actually doing a ton at the moment with them. And I feel like this game is still very even. If I had to give an edge, I would give the slightest edge over to EGIdra, but I mean, at the same time, we're looking at the gas count. How many infestors do we have on the field? Do we have any on the field yet? No, so it's going to be 5 infestors to the 3 here, or 2 to 3 of EGIdra. So MaSsan's actually somehow managed to gather in more gas, despite EGIdra having those gas a lot earlier right there. Those extractors. How are the upgrades looking? We simply have the +1 done right there. Do we have any more upgrades? The +2 is being started for Okay, so the +2 is actually going down for both players. A huge fungal growth right here goes down for FGMaSsan. No, this could be so crucial right here. He's able to get so many units locked down. Unfortunately, EGIdra, with such a smart move, is able to pull those roaches forward to push the Infestors back and allow his army to retreat. But FGMaSsan's going to be in hot pursuit with these roaches. He knows that all of EGIdra's roaches right here are extremely weak. However, he will not have to push in too far. He should be careful not to lose too much to fungal growths of his own. EGIdra able to get the counter fungals there, doing a decent amount of damage, and it's just fungal city. Neither player splitting up their roaches properly, and look how many roaches are going down simply to the fungal growths right there. Look at how much health they all have, and now he's simply going to be chasing back as he wants to kill off as many of these infestors as he can. Also smartly bringing an overseer with him so that he can pick them off. Some roaches do come in with a flank though, and nice fungal growth goes down. Looks like he's able to trap a decent number of these roaches, and it's just going to be forced to back off into his base right there. And if we look in the unit slots tab, that is so close at this point. And what about the workers tab? It looks like FGMaSsan has actually secured a worker lead during this entire engagement right here. And so now EGIdra, what is he going to do? I mean, I loved the fungal growth right there of both players. Both of them utilized that high ground vision that the other player didn't have, so he was able to sneak in, or while the roaches were running up, just able to get fungal growth. But I felt like FGMaSsan was able to get the better fungal growth out right here, actually. He was able to get two really good fungals on even more units, and now FGMaSsan is gearing up for a nice-sized attack, it looks like, but instead he's going to push over to the natural, possibly wants to stay away from having to engage up this ramp, because that is not a favorable choke whatsoever. But instead, no, he's not going to go to the natural at all. He's just getting over here to defend his fourth base, in case some roaches come around, which I guess he did see right there. So EGIdra trying to sneak around. I'm not sure what those roaches really would have done. There's not really enough DPS. So free roaches right there for FGMaSsan, and he is now going to be securing this fourth base, which is going to be crucial as he's now also getting his Hydra's den. This will add the extra gas. Look at how much gas he already has. He's saving up for the Hydras. And EGIdra as well has added a Hydra's den. So Hydra, Roach, Infestor armies for both players. And I'm imagining FGMaSsan's going to be maxing out on that fairly soon, possibly. I'm not sure why he would get that Hydra den if he's not going to be making any Hydras. No, he just continues with the Roach production. Interesting choice right there. Both players have that +2 upgrade. +1 Carapace has been started here for FGMaSsan, so that will allow him to start getting ahead in the upgrade count. He's going to head right over to this fourth base of EGIdra and snipe it off. Will it get canceled? Yes, it will. So EGIdra at least gets the cancel, and now he's going to possibly try and engage up this ramp. I'm not quite sure I would like to see that, and neither would he. Look how he's split his units up so they can't be fungled. At least mass fungal, and instead he's just going to defend out here and hold his opponent from getting that fourth base so he can secure the fourth base back at his own base. But you have to remember that EGIdra does have Hydras as well in this army, so that's going to add the DPS that we do not see from FGMaSsan's army. And Shane Fungal Growth's going down over here, able to kill off some free roaches. Will they actually go down? Yes, they will. So a huge explosion of fungal growth right there. And now he's also going to be fungal growthing on the infestors, and they're trying to counter fungal, but it's unfortunately not going to happen. FGMaSsan lost a lot of supply right there, but I wonder if it was almost for free, as you can now see him starting to re-max with these Hydralisks behind. So I guess he knew he didn't have the DPS, but he did wait too long for that Groove Spine upgrade, so that's definitely going to favor EGIdra, as he will have the extra range on his Hydras, and EGIdra's now going to start pushing over towards the fourth base of FGMaSsan, who has had it for a decent amount of time. Will EGIdra be able to get over there and kill it off, or will he fall to the mass army that now has the Hydras added in right here? And the drones are being pulled away, it looks like, so EGIdra cannot do a lot of damage back here. He can't really get any drones in the back or anything, which I know that's exactly what EGIdra was probably planning on doing. And so now we're going to see FGMaSsan on the low ground right here. Definitely not the best place to be. He can fungal growth a few of these Hydras right here, actually able to chain fungal about 3 patches of them right there, so able to do a decent amount of damage. But I don't know if it's going to be enough. And here we're going to see EGIdra charging forward. FGMaSsan seems to have the choke, though, right here. Or seems to have the concave versus EGIdra's army. EGIdra's army is crushing. It is crumpling, excuse me, so quickly. Look at this. FGMaSsan able to just absolutely demolish his army. He now can start remaxing so quickly. I'm not sure I liked EGIdra pushing in. And that's it. EGIdra leaves the game with such a rage quit. So what a engagement for FGMaSsan. He didn't really have what seemed like favorable position. He was on the low ground. His opponent had the high ground vision, everything like that. that, but he was able to create such a concave. EGIdra rushed down in sort of a strange fashion, wasn't able to get all of his units in proper placing and stuff, and FGMaSsan just fungal growthed his entire army while he had the surround, and it absolutely crushed. On top of that, of course, he had the additional upgrade, so that made it a little bit more difficult for EGIdra to deal with the army, and wow, FGMaSsan able to take this game. He'll be moving on, and EGIdra going to drop out. So, my name is Mr. Llama. Hope you guys enjoyed this cast, and I'll see you guys next time.